Mr. Barrett, Mrs. Barrett, you must obey.
We are talking Held. Now this movie is directed by Travis Cluff and Chris Lothing and stars Jill Awbrey as Emma. Awbrey actually wrote the movie as well, and she plays Emma and she stars alongside Bart Johnson as Henry. Now they are a couple that have had a little bit of a rocky time, you might say, and to try and, you know, maybe kind of push their marriage forward, they decide that they're going to go on this kind of brief kind of excursion out somewhere and kind of hire this idyllic kind of high-tech home to live in for a few days and get away from the hustle and bustle of life. Now we learn that the character of Emma has had some kind of trauma in her past, and the trauma is going to get worse because once this couple arrives at this seemingly idyllic house, they find that there is someone watching them, someone who has control of all the high-tech gadgets and security within this house, and traps them there and then asks them to perform various tasks, revealing secrets and putting them under certain pressures, otherwise they will be punished. Now this individual is a masked character, and it's kind of a horror thriller to a degree. It leans maybe more on the thriller side of things, to be honest, but there are horror elements there. A masked, knife-wielding, antagonist, things like this, home invasion style movie. Now what will happen? You'll have to watch the movie and find out. So let's talk about what I think worked in Held. Now this movie appears relatively simple, first of all, a simple home invasion movie. We've seen plenty of them, but it actually does have a few layers in this one. Now, this is somewhat of a politically charged movie in a number of ways. And you can watch it, I suppose, just as a kind of a thriller, so to speak. But it does certainly ask some political questions and have some political tinges within the film. When I was watching it initially, I was kind of thinking, is this kind of a security versus freedom argument? Because we have this kind of situation where the captor is essentially telling this couple to do certain things, perform certain acts, reveal certain truths, and if they do, their security will be guaranteed. But if they don't, if they want their freedom, there'll be trouble for them, and then ultimately going to cause them pain. So I was thinking, is this a kind of an argument, or meant to be a metaphor for the age-old argument of freedom versus security? Now, obviously, if you look at that at a broader scale, there are some political kind of ramifications to that as well. Now, as the film goes on, it kind of asks a few more political questions as well, some of which I think were handled well, some of which were handled a little bit clunky, but we'll come on to it. But nonetheless, this movie certainly has layers on it. Secondly, I've got to say, I think the movie is quite well acted. I thought our two kind of leads did a decent enough job here of making a kind of a believable couple who certainly have both highs and lows within their kind of relationship. But nonetheless, I did kind of feel that they were genuinely kind of, a couple going through a kind of a range of emotions as the film progressed, and I thought it was well acted. I think the movie's kind of location as well feels a little bit fresh. So many, horror thrillers, make use of a spooky location, which is a kind of rundown house or something like that. Something where it's visually kind of dark and dingy to obviously add to that kind of horror ambience. But this one chooses the opposite path, really, having a very high-tech modern home full of kind of technology, which of course is being manipulated, swimming pool. So it's somewhat of a luxurious kind of a home, really, but the technology within this home is then of course used against these people. I've got to say, I think the look of this captor with this kind of interesting kind of mask, I think it looks pretty good. And the movie has a good forward trajectory, and as the movie goes on, things are revealed, secrets are told, and we learn the truth about what's going on. And I think the movie actually ends pretty strongly with a kind of a good and satisfying reveal and twist and things like that. all that I thought was reasonably well handled, although I do have a little bit of a caveat with it. So let's maybe talk about what I think doesn't work in this film. There are some kind of somewhat of an audience manipulation here, certainly in regards to playing on certain political prejudices. So again, I don't want to spoil anything for you here, but the movie kind of makes us feel a certain way about maybe a certain character, for example, and then it's like, oh, you know, this character who you maybe thought a certain way, it's actually kind of like this. But I thought, come on, the movie was very kind of manipulative in making you feel a particular way. It's not like the film was like, you know, let's paint this picture and make you as the audience make up your own mind. No, it's definitely kind of leading you by the hand and think, you need to feel this way about this kind of character. Which, you know, it's not as clever as I think it could be in that regard. Now, as the film goes on, and I think you know, things are revealed, and I gotta say I kind of quite enjoyed, as I say, with the narrative of this movie and, you know, ultimately the story that was kind of behind it. It does strike me as a little bit kind of silly and unbelievable at times. And again, I don't want to spoil anything for you, so I won't go into specifics. But, you know, when certain things are revealed, you're thinking, how would that be possible? How would that kind of exist? It doesn't strike me as a particular kind of believable portion of the movie. But, you know, those things aside, which I think are just maybe kind of ends up being a little silly at times, the movie overall, I've got to say, was very enjoyable. So it's a well-paced, well-acted thriller with an interesting kind of plot under the kind of the main sort of veneer of a home invasion horror thriller. So I quite enjoyed this one. Maybe if you're politically inclined one way or another, you might find it all maybe not to your taste. But overall, I've got to say, I thought it was a well-constructed film and was a good example of some good storytelling, albeit with a few little silly bits here and there. So overall, I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.